Okay, so we just came up with the problem that using the power rule number 1, gave us a solution 9x to the 4th power x squared. Now we need to come up with another problem using power rule number 2 that would result in the same solution. So we're going to go to our notes, and power rule number 2 involves taking the power that our product is being raised to and distributing and multiplying it times everything inside the parentheses. So we are given an example. Our example is 4x cubed raised to the power of 2. In this case, we're going to take that 2 outside the parentheses, and we're going to multiply it times each exponent inside the parentheses. That would result in 4 to the 2nd power x to the power of 3 times 2, because again you're distributing that 2 and multiplying it times everything times each exponent inside the parentheses. And that in return ends up with 4 squared gives us 16, and x to the power of 3 times 2 is the same thing as x to the power of 6. So we want to use that same rule to come up with a problem that would result in the solution. So I want to raise my problem to the power of 2. So I need to work backwards. What times 2 gives me 4? Well, 2 times 2 gives me 4, so I'm going to have a y to the 2nd power, because when I multiply those exponents together, when I multiply the exponent 2 times the power 2, I end up with y to the 4th. If I have 1x, the x as an invisible 1 as the exponent, 1 times 2 gives me 2, so that would result in x squared. The tricky part is with the number. What squared gives me 9? Well, if you're good with numbers, you should know that 3 has an invisible 1 as the exponent, so 3 to the power of 2, 3 squared gives me 9. But just to make sure that this is working, that this is true, I'm going to go ahead and use the power rule. I'm going to distribute this 2 across to every exponent inside my parentheses. I would end up with 3 to the 2nd power, y to the 2 times 2 is 4, so y to the 4th power, times x, 1 times 2 is 2, so x to the 2nd power, x squared. That is the same thing as 3 squared is 9, times y to the 4th, times x squared. So again, I ended up with the solution 9y to the 4th x squared using the power rule. So this is the problem I used, and it works. What I want you to do is I want you to go back to your paper, and although we completed the first space in the column under power rule 2, I want you to go ahead and complete the rest of these spaces.